Hi everyone, it's Kill Shop from 99 Gaming, and this is Preacher Season number 2, Episode number 1, reactions and live chat, and what an episode. This was definitely hyped up, and I think it was everything that we had hyped it up to be. A lot different, in my opinion, than the start of Season number 1, and I know at the end of Season number 2, it got a little bit abstract, a little bit crazy, and it just continued that to a whole different level tonight. So we're going to talk about some specific things that happened. I'm going to give you my reactions to it. I don't know there's a whole lot of walking on eggshells that we can do. There were some hidden clues, some things that you're trying to watch and pay attention, but just kind of blew my mind. I found my eyes just being diverted to different things. They did an amazing job just keeping it very, very random up to this point. So I just want to say what's up to all of you guys. Appreciate you guys being here late night afterwards. I know we do sometimes we're doing these and they're Walking Dead type videos, and we're just talking about like our emotion and someone died and these things happen. This is, in my opinion, just complete not to be offensive, just brainless, relaxed entertainment. You don't really have to think, and if you do think along with it, you're finding all these other additional clues. So I don't know, if I did a hidden clue video on this, I'm sure there's just a ton of things that we can talk about. So we're going to start out and just it was graphic. There's no doubt about it. It started out, you know, you're watching Fear the Walking Dead, and then you see one or two deaths. And the scene with Troy Madison killing a few walkers, that was great. But they kind of did that in the first couple of minutes of Preacher. It's a totally different level. This makes me want to go back and actually read the graphic novel as well. I've heard it's very, very extreme, but I'm going to go back and check that out. So what's going on? See you. Look at that. Emmy already rated it a 12. That Emmy, I just have to ask though, what is your rating scale? If does it go up to like a 12, 15, 20, or is 12 the max? Because I'm glad. I'm glad everybody's enjoying it and they want to talk about it a little bit. No spoilers, nothing. Just we're going to give what we think's going to happen, and just kind of enjoy it along for the ride. What's up, Steph? Good to see you. So much fun. Preacher was awesome. All right, Lindsay Luke says Preacher was awesome. Let me just give you a couple things with this. First of all, Preacher chat. Let me give you all the disclaimers because people are going to watch this during playback. There's going to be a lot more loose chat, obviously, with Preacher than some of our other stuff. Clearly, I don't know how you could watch it and not talk about some of the events. Secondly, if you guys are all a part of this video, so don't type anything in chat that you don't want to be a part of this video, because as I said before, it's going to be a little bit, it's going to push the envelope a little bit, and I will read some of your comments. So just think before you type. That's the only thing I'd ask you. And of course, have some fun with this. We'll talk about some different topics, and make sure you guys slap that like button as well too. So Tommy, I saw your message on Kick a little bit ago. He was like, Kills, you've hyped this thing up. I'm going to watch it. And he's got it in caps. He liked it. So Emmy says 10 is the max and 12 is blown away. So Lindsay Luke gives it 100 out of 100. So let's just start and talk about these are the type of things that I really, the conversation and the dialogue, it was very pulp fiction-y, I guess. I don't know if that's a adjective, but anyway, I'll use that. How the conversation just went from one topic to another, and you're trying to watch the action, definitely kept me involved. So in the beginning, you're talking about the conversation starts out with circumcisions and facial cream, and oh, the irony that they go from face cream, and as Jesse said to Tulip, well, you do have soft skin, and what comes on the radio? Come on, Eileen, and it's just so perfect and intentional. And then of course the chase scene was great, with the singing along with Come on, Eileen, and then you knew something had to happen, but so casual. I think dodging in and out. We know Tulip definitely cares about her car. That is of utmost importance, and ran out of gas. So we'll kind of stop it right there, and we'll read a couple of your comments. So Tommy gives it a 9.5, and Steph Richardson says, "Who knew you could siphon gas through an intestine?" Yeah, we're going to talk about that as well too, because that whole exchange just kept you like, when you look over and see okay, well, go ahead. I had no idea what she used. I saw him over there, and of course, the body part. You knew it was going to be some type of body part or something that he might have had on him. But the when Cassidy is smoking and the gasoline's there, it's just like everything sort of had me on edge. And I expected something to happen or an explosion, but the first 10 minutes, wow, what an amazing job. And what I found myself doing after watching after watching Fear the Walking Dead, is I'm looking for walkers. So that transition, obviously, it was a little hard for me because I had to get out of Walking Dead mode and get into a different type of supernatural mode. And let me know. Leave your thoughts and comments if you guys had some of the same issues there. If you immediately kind of got immersed into Preacher, or because it's after The Walking Dead, you're sort of feeling like there's zombies around the corner. We're going to have a little bit of pause here. I'm just going to wait for a couple comments to catch up, and then I'll read through a few of them. Appreciate you guys staying up. Like I said, a lot of people watch the playback of this as well. So these reaction videos aren't going to be super long videos. It's not going to be a full recap, but I am going to talk about some things that you saw. Colorado Kid says it took me a couple minutes to make the transition. Yeah, I think that was the difficult part it was for me, and I thought some other people might have that same thing. And it's going to be harder if it keeps following Fear the Walking Dead as well. Yeah, Tommy's like, I'm always in Walking Dead mode. So we a point of reference is we saw, and of course we found out his name. He wasn't the cowboy from hell. He's actually the Saint of Killers. So we first saw him, and he's just sniping at long range. Pretty amazing stuff. Jesse found the bullet. Looked like a silver bullet, perhaps. It was a little hot to the touch. So after they did get the gas, they siphon the gas. They make it to the little general store, and who would have thought that Yahoo, that would be a great slogan, wouldn't Yahoo clears the intestine taste right out of your mouth. So of all the things she tried the water, I think it was apple juice, hot sauce, and Yahoo. What a combination in order to get that done. I was not real big on Cassidy eating the cat, so I didn't know that vampires had a taste for cats, so I had to kind of look the other way with that. But just a lot. I'm sure there's a storyline behind it. Yeah, those were, I think they were silver bullets. But Jesse's not really a vampire, so that's what was a little bit odd about it. So I got to kind of figure that thing out. Yeah, that's a good point. So Cassidy's just eating anything, like any animals. Fair enough. So we know yeah, Yoo-hoo. Oh, sorry. Did I say Yahoo? I'm thinking internet. Yoo-hoo. I should know. I used to drink those things. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, it is definitely a Yoo-hoo. Thanks, Lemonhead. Catch the playback. So the transition, once we got to the guy forgot everything. I can't remember the guy's name who was running the general store. But then the first time you really get that face to face with the Saint of Killers, you knew something was in there. It's like, if you don't talk, I'm going to rip you out. Very, very graphic scene. And then we roll. All right, everybody. I think we are back. I don't know what happened to the stream there. Maybe I'm getting on some dicey topics here. But hopefully it'll be continuation once it plays live. We'll get everybody back in here. So once again, just as they rolled in out of the convenience store, they went to see the other pastor. And we're just asking first impressions of Mike. And I'll read a couple of your comments. Hey, we're doing live, so you never know what's going to happen during live streams. Just hold tight. We're here. We're here. Yes, Mike was the other preacher. Not at the end. Obviously, your opinion's going to change of Mike toward the end, but a couple people might have to refresh the chat if the stream went down. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought, you know, the first time you see the girl locked up in the cage, you got, this guy's definitely, he's out there. But it's almost like those things where people will volunteer to be locked up by a sheriff. But this was to a different extreme. And who remembers what the girl who was locked up, what was she trying to give up? We'll kind of throw that out there to you guys, see who was really paying attention. The cages with covers, exactly. We see you back. Hopefully, Harley, you're back in with us. Whether you catch it or you don't catch it. Yeah, Twitter urge, internet, Instagram. She's like, I got to post something on Instagram. So Mike and a very quick change in character. You first see Mike and you think he's crazy, he's locking people up. But then in a short period of time, he actually he stood up. He stood up for Jesse. Needed some proof. Jesse made him break something. And then sent them on their way to go find Tammy. Question here. This is probably a more of the moral compass question. Should Cassidy or will Cassidy at some point, I think that's a future story. Should Cassidy tell Jesse about him and Tulip? Let me see your thoughts, and let me know why or why not. Cassidy did say, look, he saved me multiple times. You know, he has different sides to him. Tulip was definitely turned off by that concept. She knows the real Jesse, and I think we saw the real Jesse when he's beating down the bathroom door at the end. That's the other side of him. I do like the way he gets fully dressed and goes out to smoke a cigarette, though. No way. Shouldn't do it. Steph says no way. Yeah, I think that's going to be a story all in itself. And the longer they wait for him to tell him, the worse Jesse's going to react to it. Yeah, Kel says it's going to come out eventually. Well, you know, even when they were looking through the photo album, okay, fast forward a little bit. Let's get to the she's, I think, is the strip club. So we come to find out that God visits the club. We found out a little bit later on it's for the jazz music. So let me throw another open-ended question out there. What do you think's going on with God at this point? Do you think that they've alluded to it a couple times? Does he need help? Did he lose his powers? Does it have to do with Genesis? Let me know what you think is going on. Is there power in that jazz music? One of my best, it's creepy, but I think one of the funniest parts, it's hard to say it's funny without it seeming creepy, was Cassidy wanting to touch the dancer, and he said there's a 3-second rule. So, and Tulip says to him, no, that's for when you drop your food. There's a 3-second rule when you drop your food on the ground, not to touch the strippers for 3 seconds or the dancers for 3 seconds. So that was pretty entertaining. Tommy Tommy says, yeah, God visiting the strip club for jazz is like him reading Playboy for the articles. That's a great analogy. But yeah, I mean, it is really about the articles. So Bernays says that God is leading Jesse somewhere. So even though we think Jesse is the one doing the pursuing, he's really, that's, you know what, that's a great concept. I think perhaps the hardest thing to really pay attention to, and this was so intentional, is the scene between Jesse, Tulip, and Tammy, who is the manager at the strip club. All the things that were going on at the same time. So they suck you in with the dialogue, and you know, it's should I use the Genesis power? No, you should just get up and beat the crap out of it. No, I can't do that. Well, I'll do it. And then you've got the shelf with the box of tampons in the background, and then you got the video playing in the background. Everything that's going on with Cassidy, and it's really you're trying to listen to the dialogue to see, well, what is Jesse going to do? And then there was a picture of a cat behind Tammy as well too. It was like a hand sketched cat. There was one that said no nudity. I couldn't make that out, but there's a lot of different clues that are there, and they're intentional. So I'm going to have to go back and really watch it and sort of freeze frame it a little bit to pay attention to everything that's going on at once. And even though the dialogue was going on with Tammy, I just wanted to see what Cassidy was doing in the background. Like, really, you know, he's flipping around and all the things that are going on was really tough to follow, and I think it creates that you're going to have to watch it maybe 2 or 3 times to really get the gist of everything that's going on, and you're probably still going to miss stuff. Like, I'm sure there was some product placement or something with the yoo-hoos and the apple juice and everything else going on there, but there were some that were really obvious. You know, the intestine thing was obvious, and they even told you what it was, but yeah, there were a lot, I think, that were kind of subtle and they were hidden. Maybe even in Mike's. When Mike was there and he had the knife, you could see just kind of the fear in them. I mean, he was pouring the whiskey, he was shaking. So something about just having that last little bit of whiskey. And I do like the way they do the letters and they pop up like Saint of all killers. So if there's something they even need to push the audience in a certain way, they give you that big clue as well. Yeah, good point too. Colorado kid is. I just lit this, and they're getting ready to get pulled over. But we did get to see a little bit of Jesse as well too, and that side of Tulip where Tulip is about the pursuit and everything with Jesse. It's to get him back to how he was before, that rough lifestyle, whether it's their physical relationship or whatever. At the end where she said, you know what I like to do? I like to just come home, go in the bathroom, lock the door. And she wanted him to beat the door down. You could, if you kind of zoom in, you see the look on her face. It's like, okay, there's that spark, that instigation that she's attracted to, and that's the side of Jesse. And I think the more he uses Genesis, the more she is. I don't think she's afraid of Genesis. I think the more she's getting out of touch with who he really is. She likes who he was, that bad side of him, and she can bring it out of him. All right, we're going to pause for a second, and I'm going to read a couple of your comments. Yeah, Mike, Brene, it's a good point. Mike already knew. He's like, you broke my door and my dog. So at that point, the writing was on the wall. Yep, good point. Well, that's a good point, Steph. So the amazing Ganesh is he's somebody's going to be revealed, because I know we saw Cassidy in either the sneak peek for tomorrow or it's later on in the season. It looked like he was sawing a woman in half. So something in that TV show is it's gonna surface a little bit later on. Yeah, it's definitely. I don't. It's a clue and it's also a plot. It's going to direct the plot a little bit more. And the timing could not have been more perfect. Right at the very end, we finally. I think it was a very humbling experience where Mike and Jesse, that was kind of the peak of his powers, right? They're out there, and Jesse says to Mike, like, I'm going to hunt him down, and basically just blasphemes him, of all get out. But then at the very end, Jesse cannot even control the Saint of Killers. So if he can't control the Saint of Killers, then obviously he's not a match for God, because he says, well, I have Genesis. I don't have to be afraid of anything. Well, now I think we know that he definitely doesn't have power over everything that he thought he had power over. So I'm going to leave it there for the recaps, and I'm just going to answer a couple of your questions. As I said before, we're going to wind up another 5 minutes or so. Just want to give you guys my reaction to it, see a little bit of your reactions. I've read a few of your comments. I'm going to read a couple more. Is Cassidy starting to fall for Tulip? I think he already is there. I think he's having a hard time separating himself from that. That was more important for him, when they were together, than it was for her. So. Yeah, good point. A lot of people that binge watched it probably remember a little bit more of it. I'll tell you this, like, I don't remember all the details, but the first few episodes when I watched it, it was almost like it was crazy, but it wasn't as crazy. And as the season got further and further along, it really elaborated a lot more. And it kind of, I just thought it picked up to a whole different level tonight. So there's some things that Genesis is going to be good for. There's some things that Jesse's going to have to rethink his strategy. Not going to all be about just commanding. He's going to have to get a little more creative. So one more time, let's go through the quick rating system. I know Emmy said it was a 12. So on a 10-point scale, one more time, a few people logged on a little bit late. Just want to see what your thoughts were about the season premiere. What's up, LA China? Glad you popped in. Hopefully you watch a little bit of the playback. So give me a rating from a 1 to a 10, and let me know what you thought about it, and if you're looking forward to watching the episode tomorrow night. I think what's going to have to happen, though, because it can't always be about Jesse just using his power. I got a feeling this is going to turn into the three of them really having different skill sets. Solid 10. Love it. Love it. Well, that's a great point, too, because, Kel, you know if they have music in there that's going to appeal to me. Yeah, if it was just about, and you know, I don't know. I haven't read the graphic novel. I'll have to go back and check some of those things out. But I think the three of them are together for a reason. So Cassidy's going to have a certain skill that's going to help him. Tulip, and then, you know, it's been mostly Jesse just with the power. As the power wanes a little bit more, the group's going to have to become more resourceful. At least that's what I think is going to happen. So the only thing I will say is I know typically we do our random things on Monday night. I'm going to take a look at the calendar. I'm not going to have random things broadcast compete with Preacher tomorrow, and I don't want to get into that overlap. So let me look at the schedule. Random things could be earlier. It might be later. We might even push it back until Tuesday. So once again, I apologize for flip-flopping too many things, but I want to make sure, you know, this is going to be an odd week if we're watching Preacher back-to-back nights, and definitely want to watch this. That kind of, they left me on edge there. What's going to happen? You know, dude's the Saint of Killers is pulling the gun. We know Jesse's going to get out of it somehow, but I'm just anxious to see how he's going to get out of it. So thanks, everyone. Appreciate all of you being here. This is Preacher reaction video. I've got to absorb it a little bit more. Definitely met all the hype, everything that I'd hoped it was going to be. And I was just able to kind of, you know, with Walking Dead, I'm like into notes and looking for things. And I think this was just very organic. You could just watch it. And if you like this sort of thing, you absorb it. It wasn't too much work. And I think every once in a while you just need something you can sit and watch that you appreciate all the time and all the energy the writers put into it, because there's things that I know that I totally missed, and I'll go back and check it out. I'm debating whether or not to do, I might do a Preacher Hidden Clues video, but I don't know if I'll do it until at least we get a couple episodes on our belt. So thank you so much. We'll take a look at the schedule. Appreciate everything that you guys do. Appreciate you guys staying up a little bit later here. If we don't do random things tomorrow, we'll do it on Tuesday. But check the Facebook page as well for all of the updates. Thanks, Lindsay, for being here. Colorado Kid, appreciate all the interaction today. Appreciate you being here. Walking Dead Girl is like a popsicle on a hot summer day. I'm going to give you a different shout-out instead of the popsicle shout-out. Tommy, sweet-ass McCandless, will be watching tomorrow. Steph Richardson, appreciate you being here. Brene, appreciate you popping in. And I will definitely shout out Lucario. Thank you, Lucario. Appreciate you being here. There's your shout out. Harley Quinn, thanks for being here. Emmy Desiree Bacon, solid 12. It's okay. Colorado Kid, if you have sign up for notifications, you'll get it immediately. I try to stick to a pretty solid schedule, but we do flip it every once in a while from day to day. Lindsay Luke, thanks for being here. Kel says smile. Appreciate you being here as well. Very laid back in these reaction videos. You'll see it's just a lot of raw emotion. Same thing when we do Walking Dead videos. It's just this is a little bit different. This isn't like, you know, super tearjerker type of thing. This is just going to be a lot of gore and a lot of innuendos. So appreciate it, everybody. If I missed a shout out when the video goes live, just leave it in the comments. And also, like Tommy said, Genesis. There you go. Tommy says Genesis, that like button. And we did a little bit of a recap, and looking forward to more stuff tomorrow night. A lot of stuff to talk about. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful evening, and I will see you all sometime, either tomorrow or Tuesday. Peace.